Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Co-Memos. Today, we're turning our attention to a challenge that surrounds us every day, even if we don't always see it: air pollution. Let's breathe in deeply, then dive right in. Air pollution arises when tiny particles, nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides, ammonia, and other harmful compounds fill our atmosphere. Across Europe, these pollutants stem from four main activities: moving our cars, heating our homes, running factories and power plants, and farming our fields. First, think of the morning commute. We squeeze onto busy roads, and diesel vehicles belch clouds of nitrogen oxides and fine particulate matter. In cities like Paris, Milan, and London, these emissions are the leading source of nitrogen oxides, trapping us in a haze of carbon monoxide and soot. It's no wonder urban air can be downright dangerous. Next, picture a cozy winter evening in a rural village. Warmth from a crackling wood stove, yet each log burned sends microscopic particles into the sky. In cold months, residential heating from wood and biomass boilers often tops the charts for particulate pollutions. Many believe biomass means green energy, but in reality, those tiny ash particles can travel far beyond the fireplace, lingering in the air we all share. Then there are factories and power plants, especially in regions where coal still fuels our lives. In Eastern Europe, sulfur oxides and particulate emissions rise from smokestacks, painting the horizon gray. Western Europe has largely switched to cleaner technologies, but pockets of older plants still send pollutants aloft, reminding us how energy production can cost us our health. And finally, the fields and barns of Europe's agricultural heartlands. Ammonia emitted by livestock and fertilizers reacts with nitrogen and sulfur oxides to form secondary fine particles, PM 2.5, that weave their way into our lungs. Countries like the Netherlands, France, and Germany, with intensive animal farming, feel this impact in every breeze. All these sources combine in our cities, where tall buildings trap traffic fumes in so-called urban canyons. On still winter days, a layer of cold air holds the pollution close to the ground. Dense populations, heavy traffic, and industrial zones become a recipe for dirty air, and our bodies pay the price. When we inhale polluted air, we set off a cascade of health problems. In the short term, smog can trigger coughing, wheezing, and asthma attacks. Over years, it scars our lungs, leading to chronic bronchitis, reduced lung function, and even COPD. Poisonous particles slip into the bloodstream, elevating the risk of heart attacks, strokes, high blood pressure, and heart failure. The World Health Organization has deemed outdoor air pollution a Group 1 carcinogen, the same deadly category as tobacco smoke, linking it directly to lung cancer and potentially other cancers as well. But the harm doesn't stop at our lungs and hearts. Recent research shows polluted air can affect our brains, accelerating cognitive decline and raising the risk of dementia, anxiety, and depression. For children whose lungs and brains are still developing, the consequences can last a lifetime. Stunted lung growth, developmental delays, lower % of premature births, or low birth weight babies. Vulnerable groups, children, the elderly, anyone with asthma or heart disease, are at highest risk. Yet, despite these grim facts, we hold the power to change our fate. It begins with the choices we make each morning. Picture swapping your solo car ride for a bus, a train, or an easy bike ride. When you must drive, share the trip with friends or colleagues. If it's time for a new car, consider an electric or hybrid model. Simple habits, like turning off your engine instead of idling, keep the air cleaner for everyone. At home, smarter heating can make a world of difference. Modern heat pumps and efficient gas boilers replace wood stoves and coal burners, cutting particulate emissions dramatically. Proper insulation means less energy wasted on heating and cooling. And in every room, flicking off lights and powering down electronics when they're not in use helps shrink our collective carbon footprint. Our shopping habits matter too. Choosing local, seasonal produce shortens the supply chain and reduces transport emissions. Picking low VOC paints, cleaners, and other products keeps chemical fumes at bay. Reuse, recycle, and refuse single-use plastics whenever possible. Each action saves energy that would otherwise add to the pollution burden. But individuals alone can only go so far. Communities must come together to demand and implement lasting change. Imagine every city with safe, protected bike lanes that entice commuters out of their cars. Picture expanded, reliable public transit that runs on electricity, freeing us from gasoline dependence. Envision car-free days in busy districts where families stroll beneath open skies and children play where exhaust once fouled the air. Green spaces are vital. Every street tree, pocket park, and rooftop garden absorbs particulate matter, filters carbon dioxide, and cools the urban heat island. When neighborhoods rally to set up local recycling, composting, and air quality monitoring programs, often led by schools and community groups, we empower people to see, measure, and reduce pollution firsthand. On a policy level, proven solutions already exist. Low-emission and car-free zones in cities such as Madrid or Ghent have cut nitrogen dioxide levels by up to 40%, protecting the health of those who live and work there. Vienna's Greenbelt and Paris's vertical gardens show how urban greening can flourish even amid concrete. Oslo's pledge to run all buses and trains on electricity by 2028 promises a dramatic drop in harmful emissions. And cycling capitals like Amsterdam, Berlin, and Utrecht teach us that when you build the lanes, the people will ride and the air will clear. Rural regions need their own toolkit. Climate-friendly farming practices, rotating crops with legumes, embracing agroforestry, recycling nutrients on the farm, reduce the greenhouse gases that form dangerous fine particles. Programs across Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Germany, and France help households replace wood stoves with heat pumps or district heating, slashing winter smog. Community-owned wind turbines, solar co-ops, and biogas plants free villages from fossil fuels. And organic agriculture cuts synthetic fertilizer use, which otherwise contributes to ozone and fine particle formation. Finally, we must address environmental justice. Too often, the poorest neighborhoods sit closest to highways, factories, and old heating plants, breathing the foulest air. Their residents lack the resources to retrofit homes, buy electric cars, or install air purifiers, and they have the least say in zoning and planning decisions. Rural communities, too, can be left behind, relying on old stoves, or exposed to agricultural ammonia without proper support. We need fair policies that protect the most exposed, subsidies that help every household upgrade to clean technologies, and genuine community voices at the planning table. As we come to the end of this episode, let us remember to do our best to contribute to the reduction of air pollution. Every bike ride, every tree planted, every regulation passed is a step toward cleaner air and a healthier, more equitable world. I hope today's journey through causes, impacts, and solutions leaves you inspired. Any initiative, no matter how small, can contribute towards clean air for all.